For section 5.1.2, problem number 1, we are asked to complete the following derivation. So we're given the premise not B implies B, and we're asked to derive B. So, clearly, this is an assumption. And a good strategy for this might be to assume not B so that we get to the other side of the conditional. So this is going to be an assumption, negation, elimination, because we're going to do a reductio argument and try and prove something contradictory here so that we can show the opposite of this. And indeed, not B, if we follow this from antecedent to consequent, then we get B by use of lines 1 and 2. So 2 feeds into 1, crosses the conditional, and gives us B. So this is conditional elimination because we're doing that. Well, now we have B, and we have not B, but we actually have to state it again because it has to be down here in this portion of the derivation. So we have to state it again, and this is an example of reiteration in action using line 2. Now we've shown something contradictory, so we can negate this, or in the case here, we're negation elimination, so we get rid of the negation and we show B. Now, how did I know to do this? Well, one strategy for trying to get to something like this is to assume the opposite, and that's what we did here. We assumed the opposite. We assumed not B, and then we tried to show something contradictory, which is really easy. And when we showed something contradictory, then we get B. And so we get this by 2 through 4, negation, elimination, 2 through 4 being right here. Okay, and that's all there is to that one. Now, let's take a look at 2H. We are asked to derive H equivalent to J. Now, whenever you do this, you have to show both H implies J and J implies H. So in other words, you have to assume H and show J, and then assume J and show H. And if that's the case, then you can conclude via biconditional introduction H is equivalent to J. And so what we're going to do then is we're going to assume H and show J. So we assume H, and the target strategy is biconditional introduction. It's not going to happen for a little while, but that's what's going on with that. Now, if we have H, we can cross the biconditional and get I. And so this is by way of lines 2 and 3, biconditional elimination. So now we have I. We can now show this simply by wedging this and this. I'm not wedging, conjoining those by anding them together. And so we have lines 3 and 4, conjunction introduction. Then we can cross the biconditional and get J. So by way of line 1 and 5, biconditional elimination, we get J. So we have taken H and we have shown J. We don't actually have to state this, but that's what's going on. We could state this at this point, if H then J. So that's part of it. Now let's do the same thing, go in the other direction. Let's assume J and see if we can show H. So this is also an assumption for biconditional introduction. Now, we're going to say, well, H and I, by crossing the biconditional going the other direction. So we know J, and we're going to cross the biconditional this way and get H and I. So this is with lines 1 and 7. Biconditional elimination. So now we have H and I. We can straightforwardly say H. Line 8, conjunction elimination. So now we've assumed H and showed J. We assumed J and showed H. And so now lines by lines 3 through 6, which was the first one, and 7 through 9, which is the second one, then we can do, we don't need the comma, biconditional introduction, and assert H is equivalent to J. And we're done.